news when we have to look at the current India versus Australia series. Australia are all set to have a major overhaul of their entire T20 side. They are 2-0 down and they would be looking to keep the series alive heading into the game today at Barsapara. Now, according to Cricket Australia's new report that has just come out, there is a major overhaul in the entire T20I side in this series. Steve Smith, Glenn Maxwell, Adam Zampa, all are heading back home. This is the list now that Cricket Australia has said that these guys are not going to feature in the remainder of the T20I series that's going to be played on 28th, on 1st, and on 3rd. So, Steve Smith and Adam Zampa, they are flying home today. So, they are not available for selection. Glenn Maxwell, Marcus Stoinis, Josh Inglis, and Sean Abbott will all return home tomorrow. After that, when you look at it, you're going to see another few changes coming up. The replacements that are there in the Australian team are Josh Philippe and Ben McDermott. Now, Josh Philippe, remember, he has been in Australia's domestic T20 setup for a long time. He impressed in the Big Bash League. He also did very well in the series in the Big Bash League, as well as for a franchisee in the IPL as well. Philippe was touted as one of the big hitters in the side, and now he is in as well. Ben McDermott. Now remember, Ben McDermott also has had a good couple of years in the Australian domestic T20I setup. And that is why it is going to be very interesting to see how Josh Philippe and Ben McDermott, two individuals who had good success in the domestic T20I setup, they come into the mix at this point in time. Now, two further interesting changes are coming up in this entire side. Ben Dwarshuis and Chris Green. Dwarshuis is a left-armer who has played for the Sydney Sixers in the Big Bash League, was often included in the IPL auction but was never picked on a consistent basis. Chris Green, on the other hand, the off-spinner, he's had good success for Sydney Thunder in the Big Bash League. He captained the Sydney Thunder a couple of times, and because of this now, he might make his debut in this series in Guwahati. He might even debut in Guwahati today. So, Chris Green is a very important figure in this. He's often captained the side. He's been part of the Guyana Amazon Warriors in the CPL. He's often opened the bowling and also been a very powerful batsman in the lower middle order. So, Chris Green and Ben Dwarshuis, these two are a really, really good additions when you have to look at it in the side. Now, the thing is, Dwarshuis and Green will join the side in Raipur for the 4th T20I that will happen on December 1. They will play either in Raipur and could be selected even for the 5th and final T20I in Bengaluru. So, in that sense, if you look at it, this is the overall that is there in the team. Only Travis Head from that World Cup winning squad, he's there in the side now. Only Travis Head. The rest of the players, as I mentioned, Josh Inglis, Marcus Stoinis, Steve Smith, Glenn Maxwell are all heading home today and tomorrow. Smith and Maxwell are apparently flown out, so that's why they won't be selected today. Apart from that, if you look at it, the rest of the players, Zampa, Stoinis, Maxwell, they are all heading home tomorrow. So that is the way you're looking at it at this point in time. So I'm just reading out the Cricket Australia statement that is there at this point. So remember, if Australia lose this match, they have lost the series and they, as India, have taken an unassailable 3-0 lead in the series. Australia need to win this in order to stay alive in the contest that's there. So once again, for people who are joining us, big wholesale changes in the Australian team for the ODI, for the T20Is that is coming up. Steve Smith, Glenn Maxwell, Adam Zampa, Marcus Stoinis, Josh Inglis are all flying home and they are not going to play any further part in the T20I series. Today is the 3rd T20I. If Australia lose this, they will lose the series as well. Now, the replacements that are coming in are Ben Dwarshuis, Ben McDermott. Then if you look at it, Chris Green, these are the other guys, and Josh Philippe, they're also coming into the side at this point in time. So, good on Australia that they've given their World Cup stars some break. Only Travis Head remains now. Remember, after the end of this T20I series, Australia play 3 tests against Pakistan, that is part of the World Test Championship. So they'll need most of their players to be fit and ready for that. And remember, the Pakistan series begins on 14th December at Perth. 14th to 18th is the first test. Then you look at the Boxing Day test and the New Year test that's going to happen. So changes galore in the Australian team. Today, you're going to see an entirely new Australian team come up in Guwahati. The match will begin at 6:30. The toss at 6:30. The match will begin at 7 p.m. And one hopes that Australia keeps the series alive, but India are the favorites heading into this contest. So, big changes. No Steve Smith, no Jasprit Bumrah, no Steve Smith, no Glenn Maxwell. Nothing has happened at this point in time. So, Australia desperate to stay alive in the series. Apart from that, changes have been made looking ahead into the calendar as well. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Bye bye.